Okay, amazing. Welcome, 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 everyone. Everyone who's watching on the recording, everyone who is here. Lots of people are joining now, so it's so amazing. Oh, yes. Hello, hello, hello. And I just, for the first few moments, I will be just saying hello all the time because I'm just admitting people, and it's Siwana. Hello, Siwana. So great to see you. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Please, I'm sending you lots. I'm sending everyone so many kisses and hugs. And Heather, hi, Heather. So great to see you. And Sharmina, yes. And I was just saying to Radhika that, yeah, Sharmina is here. So some of you will know each other, some of you will get to know each other today. So yes, amazing. And please, if you can, please just put your camera on, and I will be reminding this from time to time because we are here to talk about all these amazing topics which we all love, but we don't have too much time or too much space to talk about them on a daily basis because yeah, they might be a little bit of shame, they might be a little bit of guilt or judgment from different people. So yes, let's just today there is no guilt, no shame, no judgment. Just going to talk about everything. So just for everyone who is joining live and who will be joining live, you've got chat here. Please make the most of the chat, and I can already see that ladies are saying hello and everything. Please open up the chat, say hello, say why you are here, and I will be asking you questions as well. Please don't be shy. I would love to know why you are here. And what is the thing you are looking for? So yes, thank you, Sharmina. Sometimes I will be reading the comments because everyone who's reading, who's watching the recording, you won't be able to see the comments. So yes, from time to time, I will be seeing them. Thank you for all the lovely words, ladies. So yes, I am super excited for tonight because we are going to talk a little bit about how we can shift from comfort eating to being aware of what we are doing. We will talk about what emotional eating is, what it isn't, and what we can actually do to make those shifts if we feel like, okay, we eat because food is there. And we know exactly that we could be not eating that food, but we have no idea what happens. That it's almost like we can't see anything and we just go to the cupboard, or we go to that desk, or we just go and eat. So this is what today is about. And also what will be happening in the first half of the program of the masterclass. We will be hearing from one amazing lady who's already here, what kind of changes she was implementing in her life and how massive transformation she experienced with us working together and doing different things. So yes, so let's start. We still have people joining, but let's just start, and then from time to time I will be just welcoming new faces. And later on, I will put us all on a gallery view so we can just take some picture or just share some laugh and things like that. This is definitely something that will be happening. Okay, so for those of you who know me, and for those of you who thank you, Heather. It's just yeah, the comments regarding the what is happening here on my face. There is massive amount of enthusiasm on my face because I love the topic of emotional eating. And I want to tell you a little bit about why it has become such a massive passion of mine. And for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who know me, my name is Anastrozek, and I am a psychonutritionist. But most importantly, I am someone who's really excited every time when we have to talk about overeating, binge eating, shame and guilt around food, because trust me, I know that there is the way to a different life, and there is a bridge which each one of us can embark on and just change something. So yes, welcome to Kisha, Aga, ladies who joined in the meantime. So yes, so I will be just saying welcome in the meantime. So when it comes to me, Just very briefly, I will say that in total, 25 years of being stuck in emotional eating, non-purging bulimia, binge eating disorder, a lot of different things. And at some point, I really felt like, oh my goodness, this is my middle name. I will never get onto the other side. And I really felt that, and that's the part which now I really appreciate as a part of my journey, because if I hadn't gone through those 25 years of really dark moments from time to time, I wouldn't be able to understand how my clients are feeling, and I wouldn't be able to almost be in their step into their shoes and just give them something completely different. Tell them that, okay, there is hope, there is faith, there is trust, because it really does exist, even if we think that it's not what is actually available to us. And before we move any further, I would love to hear from some of, why are you here? Please answer that question, because we are not here about talk about my story. I would love to hear from you. What brings you here, and if you have any expectations, because we all love talking about expectations. So, do you have any expectations towards today? What you would love to find out? What you would love to share, or what you would love to learn? Come on, don't be shy. Let's just raise your hands. You can raise the digital one, or you can raise the actual one, and I'm just flicking through the screens to make sure that I can see everyone. Who's gonna be brave? Yay, Heather and Simona and Sharmina. Yes, I've got you. Okay, Heather, let's go with you, because you are the first. Oh my
Hello,
goodness,
hello.
it's so great to see you.
And so great to see you too. Thank you. I think I love food. Food has always been a very important part of my life, and I celebrate with food. I cry with food. It's part of me, right? But I guess I've struggled to know where the line is. And a few years ago, a colleague of mine said to me, I was having my snacks at my desk, and they were like, your face literally gets closer to the food as you eat. So, that's a sign that I'm probably a bit too enthusiastic about it. And they made a joke saying maybe we should get you a nose bag, like one of those horses, so you can just put all the food in and not come up for air, which I thought was a funny joke. But then when you sort of grow in your own journey, you realize that you're squashing something down. You don't really want to feel something, right? So I sometimes wonder, am I eating because I love food and I could eat and eat forever because it's so delicious? Or am I trying to suppress something? What is it about that process that I'm missing? When should I be catching myself? What is a healthy point? Yeah. So I think from an expectations perspective, I just want to share with everybody what their experience is with food and the food choices, because of course, eating an apple is going to be better than eating a piece of cake, but a piece of cake does the job. So what is that job, right? So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing that. And it's just brilliant that you are here, because everything what you said really aligns with what we will be talking about today, and with what I do and what I help with. Because it's as you said, sometimes we eat, but we have no idea why we eat. And from my perspective, the most important thing in life is that we need to enjoy our food. And the fact that people are saying, oh, you should only eat healthy, or you shouldn't eat this, or you shouldn't eat this. Okay, fair enough. But how long can you do it for? How long can you limit yourself for? And then my approach is, how about we do 20-80? Sometimes we need that cake, because this is something which help us to feel good. But that moment when we eat it, and then there is lots of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of different other emotions, this is the point when we can look at it. So amazing that you are here, because yes, we will definitely be talking about it today. So yes, welcome to this masterclass. All right, I know that Sharmina, let's go with you. I know that Simona made the comment here, but I'm going to listen to your wonderful voice, Simona, in a minute. But first, let's go with wonderful voice of Sharmina, who just came back from holiday. Sorry, I don't know if I could say it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I definitely comfort eat, not so much when I'm bored, but when I'm sad or angry or depressed, when I feel negative, when I do celebrate with food, I don't go crazy, but I feel like I do comfort eat when I'm in a more negative state of mind. As you know, I started doing Zoe a few months ago, and it has really helped. And they do a lot of personal tests, so there's a lot of personalization to my nutrition now, which is great, and I'm learning so much. And it has helped me lose weight. And it's not just about food, it's about diet, it's about comfort eating, it's about sleep, it's about fitness. So it's not just about food. But the reason I'm here tonight specifically is to get to the bottom of why sometimes I self-sabotage with food. Because it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough of the time. And and just getting rid of those feelings of guilt and shame, and just having that emotional attachment to food more often than not. But for me, it's definitely self-sabotage.
Yes, thank you for saying all of that, because it's almost like we all know what to do, but how to do it, and how to do it sustainably, and how to make sure that we can do it for a longer time. So that's the difference. And it's brilliant that you are saying in terms of what you've been doing with Zoe as well, because it's like, it's great to know what is happening with our body, but mind is the one, and especially subconscious mind, so where all the feelings are and all the triggers come from subconscious mind. So this is a great part to actually discover a little bit more, or uncover a little bit more. So yes, we are going to talk about it a little bit today. So amazing. Thank you for being here. All right, brilliant. And Simona, you made a comment on the chat, but let's just hear from you. Why are you here, my beautiful?
Why am I here? First of all, because I absolutely loved you. Sorry, can you hear me? Because my
Now
Wi-Fi
now we can
stable.
hear you. Yes, hopefully now we can hear you.
No. It's a bit unable. So my Wi-Fi was intrigued by your approach. Secondly, I sort of do, and I love my
No,
food.
we can't hear you.
I love it. Oh no. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear parts. It was, yes, something regarding my approach and
Okay.
food. You love it. Okay, you know
I'll
what?
text you. Okay.
Please,
Okay.
and I will read, but thank you so much for being here. Yes, yes. Oh, this is going to be amazing. So yes, I will read comment. Simona actually said fascinated by what you do, and wanting to explore the emotional relationship with food. And yes, with the Wi-Fi, it happens. It's absolutely fine. So Simona, you can just type the thing which you wanted for yourself. You mentioned something regarding loving the food. So so yes, so I will read that comment for everyone. So today we will be doing this, definitely talking a little bit about why sadness, why anger, and why discomfort are those emotions when we go straight to food, and sometimes without realizing that. So I will give you a few distinctions when it comes to where we actually feel emotional hunger and when we feel the physical hunger. And also we'll talk about the biggest triggers. And I will give you a few tips at the end as well, just to show you on a daily basis how you can recognize, or how you can help yourself to start spotting where you are going to those behaviors which are subconscious. And just very quickly, for those of you who have never been on any of the masterclasses, I just wanted to show that, first of all, it's not always about what we look like. It's not always about the fact that we want to drop weight, because the number of clients I've been working with, they came to me and they were perfectly fit, but they had that voice in their head telling them to eat, or telling them to go and exercise, or telling them how much they shouldn't have been eating, or how much they ate and how disappointed and angry they should be with themselves. And it's literally that constant voice which just keeps talking. But some of you might be here and might be watching this video thinking, okay, I overeat and I really need to do something with my weight, but I want to do it once and for all, I don't want to do the yo-yo dieting anymore. And just to give you an example of where I have been in the past, when I told you that I understand why some of you, or some of you and some of maybe your friends as well, or your family members, they just feel like they just put the weight on and then drop it back off. And the reality is that in my days, I've been going through the yo-yo effect for the whole 25 years. I was always a chubby baby. I was always the, big bones. Yes. No, it's never about big bones. This is just something what we tell ourselves. But yes, it's like in stones is around 18 stones. And then I'm still on my journey. I'm here around 12 and a half stone. But the most real thing about it is that we are always on the journeys. And that difference which happened here, which is over almost 6 stone or over 6 stone, that happened literally within less than 2 years. And it wasn't because of any particular type of eating style, but it was mostly because of the fact that I started understanding why I eat, and especially why I overeat. And the moment you start making those changes, everything changes, simply because the mind is always much more powerful than the body. And I will be having an exercise for you in a minute, just so you can understand that the mind is actually the one which overrides the body. So from my perspective, lived experience is 25 years of of struggles and battle with food, as I used to call it. And my learned experience is psychonutrition. So I fell in love with psychonutrition over 4 years ago. 4.5 years ago, I met my psychonutritionist, who completely changed my life. And I realized that, okay, it's got nothing to do with what I eat and how much I exercise, because first thing I need to do is just transform my relationship with eating. So for the last over 2 years, I've been working with amazing individuals and amazing clients, just helping them to make those transformations. And one of those people today is slightly different masterclass. Normally at the end, we will be talking about what's possible with this, but today we are taking a different approach. And I wanted you to hear from one of wonderful people, wonderful ladies I've been working with actually some time ago. We stopped working together 6 months ago. For 3 months, Radhika was doing my program, Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind, which I mentioned to you just a little bit at the end. But I invited Radhika because I really wanted to show you what can happen in the beginning, and then what can happen throughout this transformation of working on our mind, and what the results are, and what the results can be, and how massive changes we can have. So Radhika, I'm just going to add you here. It's so amazing to have you here. Thank you very much for being a guest. And please just tell us about your story in terms of what brought you to the program you started in May. That was actually quite a long time ago. What has been happening throughout the program, and where are you now? What has been happening after the program as well? If you
Okay,
may, please.
well, evening, ladies. Good to see you all. It's been ages. And Anna, thank you so much for having me over. So yeah, just in a nutshell, because I've just, even till this day, I'm really excited about the program. But I mean, it came to a point where I was like, enough's enough. If I did like RI, which was the relationship with myself and others, then why can't I do a relationship with food? That it kind of just, binds all together. So I started off the course, and I think I got it straight away. And literally, it was like what Anna said, something kind of just clicks in place. And I think over the months, my concept with food changed as well. My relationship with food changed. My mindset changed in terms of like, I noticed like when I go shopping in like a Tesco shop or something, and I'd be at checkout and I'd look at my trolley, and it like totally changed. I didn't even recognize who I was. And it was just like, because I like obviously eat processed stuff, crisps, whatnot, junk, savories. It was just like all healthy things, like healthy, like fresh veg, just being a bit more mindful. And it wasn't like I was like looking at a list or what Anna was telling me, it was just happening. Like I was in like an autopilot. And then obviously the saying goes about you are what you eat. And then over the months I felt that as well. Like I felt a lot different over the months of just eating healthy. And then you start feeling good, and then you don't start craving all the shitty food. Like it just makes you realize like processed things, and it's just like I wouldn't even touch that anymore. Um, and then obviously I just wanted to lose a bit of weight, like obviously be healthy at the same time. And like going up to like pre-menopause, I just wanted to, I think it was a bit of a wake-up call about my diet and how much I was drinking, and I was just like, I need to like fix up and look sharp. And then I think it wasn't even like I didn't even finish the course, did I, Anna? And I already started seeing like the weight shift, and I could like tuck my shirts in, my trousers, and like wear like nice vest tops, and that motivated me to like work out as well. So I think it was a combination of like working out and being consistent with my diet. I feel like I'm so much more healthier, leaner, and I just feel so much happier that I feel like people can notice that as well. Like I feel like I'm radiating inside and out. Um, and it is all about how you feel inside. Like initially, I used to like step on the weighing scales like every day, but I think it was like through the program and when it came towards the end that I don't go by the weighing scales, I go about how my clothes fit me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do like step on it once in a while just to guide me. But then when you feel good and you know what you're eating, you don't feel like you're calorie counting or anything. You're just moving towards like the healthy lifestyle. It's a lifestyle at the end of the day. It's what you choose. But yeah, there's no regrets whatsoever. I've been telling everyone about it, but you've got to do it yourself, and it's the same thing. You've just got to, nothing comes on the plate, right? You've just got to work at it yourself as well. There is some hard work in it. You just got to sit with it sometimes. It's all also made me aware about the psychological eating, the emotional, and you just sit with it and ride it out. But yeah, thank you, Anna.
Amazing. Thank you, Radhika. And it's so beautiful because we haven't spoken for some time, and we connected literally a few weeks ago, and it's so beautiful to see that when you were coming to when we were starting working together, it's almost like, yeah, right, I've tried a lot of different things, but let's give it a go. It's almost like that, because it almost feels like impossible. That when we've been doing a lot of different things for a long time, it's like, no, this is just another like diet kind of approach. My goodness, there is not too much between this and diet, because all of the sudden what was really beautiful with you as well is having that permission to do whatever you want to do. Because what I keep saying, and with any of you who experiences binge eating or just eating unhealthy foods, is the moment someone tells you not to do it, you just do it. And my approach is like, the moment I tell you to do something, I will force you to do something, I can guarantee one thing: you won't do it. And it's almost seeing that connection between yeah, how you related to food, as Heather said, like, what is food? Is it love? Is it nourishment, or is it punishment? This is something what I love to ask. And you completely shifted that. And yeah, I think with you it was within the first month. Out of 3 months you started making changes, and then it's mind blowing. I remember once you went to a wedding, I think it was just after we finished. And you said that you received so many compliments from the family that you said that I just want to give your number to people.
Yeah,
And that was happening. So thank you. Thank you for being such a great example of the fact that when you do the work works,
it does.
because that's
There's
what
a
it
will, there's
is.
a way.
So yeah, so amazing.
I actually just
Yes.
came back from Sharm el Sheikh, and I loved it because I was taking pictures of myself every day because I couldn't recognize myself, and I could fit in all my clothes, and yeah, and my like bikini and whatnot. Like it's just exciting every day. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there that it is exciting when you see the results.
Amazing. Thank you. And congratulations, because this is your work, only your work. There is a guidance and there is a different approach, but that massive shift which you had regarding yourself, it's almost like make you feel, what can I do with my body to just see what it's capable of? And it's like that, and it's that excitement and enthusiasm about that. So yes, amazing. Thank you so much.
No,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much, Velika.
Right.
All right. So any questions about, or any questions to Radhika before she goes? No, I can't see anything. I'm just scrolling through the screen, but it's okay. All right, great. So, oh, Keisha, you've got question. Let's go with question. And by the way, ladies, when you have questions, yes, just raise your hand and we'll be taking here. Yes, okay. Fantastic.
Excellent.
Hello.
Oh, hello, ladies. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
Hello. Radhika, that sounded awesome. I chuckled to myself when you were talking about the bikini because I long to go into a bikini. But you see, how are you maintaining this? Because I know from past experiences for me, once the weight goes, it's all great, but the weight comes back on. So how are you finding that transition? I just wanted to ask.
I'm not gonna lie, I do have my days, and I'm like, oh my God, I put on a bit of weight, but it's just keep the consistency. You just got to be like really focused. It's self-discipline, and like I always keep thinking about what I learned in RI about my self-worth. So if I let myself down, I'm like, what's happening to my self-worth? So it's all about my self-worth. So when I walk into a room, I know I own that room, and I love that feeling. I love that buzz. I'm not gonna let anyone take that away from me. And that's what I remember when I walk into a room, that the hard work is paying off.
Yeah.
And it is literally just consistency. It's literally like 3 days, three like days a week swimming, and then I've combined it with a bit of resistance. So it's a combination of eating healthy, you're changing your mindset, but it is, I think the formula is the consistency and being disciplined with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can shy away and have some packet of crisps and whatnot and just say, yeah, everyone, I'm doing really well, but you know, it's you that's like watching yourself, isn't it? Like you can't lie to anyone. Like that's what Anna used to say. So it's the same thing. It's your own conscience at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And to add a little bit to that as well, Keisha, it's something what I love to talk about, and this is to everyone. There is a massive difference between goal and result. And we need to be really careful when we set our goals and when we expect some results. And I would love for all of you just to think about it for a moment, because if we say that losing weight or dropping weight or being in a particular size is our goal, then the moment we achieve that goal, we will be looking for something different. And our subconscious mind will be, okay, I've achieved that. So now what am I supposed to do now? Because the mind wants to get the results and it focuses on the goal. But when we realize that dropping weight or dropping a size is a result of different behaviors, which we do on a daily basis, then all of a sudden we completely change the identity around what is happening. And just to give you an example, and I would love for all of you, just ask yourself what kind of identity, what kind of beliefs you've got when it comes to your eating and when it comes to your body. Because the fact is that in my particular case, I only realized 2.5 years ago that my identity, my belief about myself was that I keep trying to lose weight. So that was my identity. So every time when I lost weight, my identity was like, who am I now? I've never experienced myself as a person who maintains weight. And when it hit me, it was like, of course, this is the result. It's not a goal. So when we think about our beliefs and when we want to change our mindset, it's like, who would I like to be? Do I like to be a person who has healthy eating habits in terms of maybe eats a little bit more vegetables, maybe drinks a little bit more water, maybe I'm the person who exercises regularly. And most importantly is having that compassion, because the reality is that we will always make mistakes. We will always have days when it's like, oh, I just can't. But that's normal because we are humans. But the question is, on days like that, would we punish ourselves with food? Because what happens, and this is also to comment on what Heather was saying and what Sharmina was saying. when we are disappointed with ourselves or we are not very happy with what is happening, let's say it like that, there is some kind of anger and some kind of frustration. And it might be work, it might be family, friends, partner, kids. You put your own word there. And when we are frustrated with the situation or with them, we normally are really used to the fact that we don't express the frustration or the disappointment because this is what we've been taught in our life. So if there is that anger, we need to point it towards someone or something. And normally what we do subconsciously, we point it towards ourselves. What is the best way and the quickest way to punish ourselves, but not realize that we are doing this? Just put food in our mouth, because then it's almost like, oh, you deserve it. You should have known better. You should have done better. And then when we start eating, it's like, ah, okay, nothing else matters. I can just keep eating. And it's really, really powerful. That's why I keep asking question. When you eat, and I guarantee to every single one of you here and everyone who's watching the recording, when you eat food from now on, after I ask this question, you will have that question on the back of your mind. And it is literally the point of, are you nourishing yourself or are you punishing yourself with what you are eating? Because the main function of food, the main one, is to nourish our bodies, is to feed our bodies. But we just keep feeding those emotions, and more emotional we get or more things we want to process, we just don't want those emotions to go out or to be let go of. And then we literally just eat. And that's a very, very powerful actually. So yeah, so that's basically what happens. Sometimes thinking, what is my goal and what are my results? And when you make this shift, it's like, now I understand. Does it make sense? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. So when it comes to this, oh Heather, well, yeah, let's take one from you because I'm loving it. I can share lots of different things when I'm talking to you, so I'm loving this way of
Yes,
doing
I
this
was going to share one quick thing is I find the emotions to be an interesting one. I eat to distract myself from what I need to do. It's a procrastination thing as well. So I feel like there could be a self-worth thing going on there, or maybe a self-doubt, but I will literally, even if I'm not hungry, I will rather than do a piece of work that I don't really want to do, I will go and make a full-on meal. I spend 45 minutes preparing it and having it, and rather than actually doing the work I need to do. So I just wanted to throw that in there in case someone identifies with that because it's a procrastination thing with me.
Yeah, fantastic. And Simona is raising her hand. I remember when Aga had that realization when we were doing the program, and it was like, this is so true. And thank you so much for sharing that, because the fact is that sometimes we think that we don't do things because we need to eat, but the reality is just an excuse. And you know what is the power of procrastination? That it's not, or the main thing with procrastination, it's not that we want to do that thing later on. It's only the most important thing is that we don't want to do that thing right now. So we will find something different. But when it comes to, and I'm going to actually share, thank you so much for that comment, Heather. When it comes to identifying what emotions we are feeling, and most importantly, how we can stop that moment when what Heather just mentioned, that there is something what needs to be done, and then all of a sudden she just goes to the kitchen and does it. Do you always do it consciously, or does it happen subconsciously as well sometimes, that you find yourself in a kitchen?
Both.
Both. Okay, amazing. So, I mean, amazing in terms of, I will tell you one very simple exercise, and anyone who's done my program, it's you guys are here as well, and it's amazing because everyone always gets like, no, it's impossible, it's too simple. And then when you start it, it's like, oh my goodness, it worked. If we have a habit of being triggered and then going to the kitchen, to the fridge, or to the cupboard, one of those two things, or whatever it is, it means that we've got that automated behavior. It's literally just a habit. What is a habit? Habit is a learned behavior. What does it mean that if it's a learned behavior? And for some reason, I just forgot my words. If something is a learned behavior, it means that we can unlearn it. And if it triggers the hell out of you when I say it, I absolutely agree, because it triggered the hell out of me when someone told me it's emotional eating and unlearn it. And it's like, no, I've been doing this for 25 years. There is no way that I can unlearn it. But the best way to unlearn something is literally to just break the habit somewhere in the middle where we don't realize that, or that part when we literally just go. So imagine the situation that you are opening an email or your inbox, and all of a sudden you just find yourself in the kitchen. What happens in the meantime? You probably got an email from the person who always causes troubles. Maybe it's that person who keeps chasing you for stuff, or this is the person who you know that will be always complaining, or there will be some problem, and it just triggers that anger in you, and it triggers that, oh, seriously. So not to feel that, and to feel a little bit braver before you start replying to that person, it's good to go and just have a little bit of food, because we might feel that, okay, it's better. Thing number one, it's never better. It feels like it's better, and it feels like we are getting the relief. But what is really happening in the background, or actually in our mind, every time when we eat especially sweet stuff, and especially the stuff with a lot of sugar, our brain and the receptors in our brain are literally flooded with a wave of sugar. So what is happening then? It's not like all of a sudden we feel better. We just don't feel those emotions as strongly as we felt them a moment before. And then when our brain gets a little bit better, all of a sudden we just feel guilt and shame because we shouldn't be doing this. It's literally, this is how we use food to numb our brain, our receptors in our brain. And I'm not saying that there is something wrong with sugar, don't get me wrong, because again, I'm one of those people who really believe in balance in everything what we do, because that's the only way to keep things sustainable. But when something like that happens, we know that sooner or later we'll have to come back to do that thing which we just stopped. The best way to interrupt that pattern, when you remember, because I guarantee you that you won't remember every single time in the beginning, is to do something what can break that behavior from point A to point B. Examples. My favorite one, and this is the one which I got from my psychonutritionist, and I was laughing at her when she told me that. And then after 3 weeks, I told her that that was probably one of the best things ever. Is if you've got the fridge or the cupboard in a kitchen, or if your kitchen is together with the living room, literally on the way to the cupboard, just do extra 2 or 3 laps around your kitchen table or around your living room. Because at that moment, you will break that pattern, break that habit, automated behavior that you feel triggered, you eat. If you put something in the middle, I guarantee you that after doing it a number of times, you will realize that, okay, actually, I feel like this and I feel like that, and I don't have to eat. I just need to acknowledge that emotion, and then it will start going away. It sounds very simple, but trust me, it's really, really powerful. I had examples, it can be a glass of water. However, lots of people are telling about a glass of water. You can drink a glass of water and that will help. It's really important to involve your whole body in that thing which will be breaking the habit, because you literally just change the state of your body, change the state of your nervous system, and you sometimes it's like waking up from a few moments of coma. And I know that I've been working with clients who just decided to take a skipping rope and just do a few skips in their living room in the meantime. And it was so great, because after some time they just said, you know what? My body was actually craving some movement, not food. And we need to remember that, especially if we spend a lot of time working, sometimes our body will be craving movement, and it will come to our mind as, okay, I need to eat. Also, the other thing, I'm just adding to the mix. When we feel frustrated, anger is one of those emotions which motivates us to do something. That's why it's always good if we move from being ashamed of things or feeling guilty about things when we feel a little bit frustrated about it, because this is the energy which is a little bit higher in frequency, which means that it motivates us to move, to make some kind of change. If we sit in front of the laptop and we are frustrated because whatever happened, one of the ways to release the anger is to move our jaws. So if you are one of those people who keep eating crisps and you have no idea why you are eating crisps, just the movement of our jaws releases a little bit of that anger. And also, if your body needs some movement, doing this is a movement as well. So it's literally every time when you move a little bit, you can just release that energy which is stuck in you. And it might sound really simple, but trust me, especially with the salty things and with the crunchy things, if you've got cravings for crunchy things when you feel a little bit then look at the fact if you're, just ask yourself if you are not frustrated or if you are not angry a little bit, or feel anger, sorry, if you don't feel anger. So yeah, so this is something what I will definitely advise, and it's really interesting how it works. And when it comes to something what is really, really powerful, especially if you want to start making changes in terms of not eating something or stop eating something, because the fact, as Simona said, what we heard in the meantime was that you love food. That's something what literally Wi-Fi worked for a moment, and that's such an important part of our life. Food is such an important part of our life. And we just need to remember that it represents so many different things. And it represents connection. It represents love. It represents us feeling understood, or us feeling that we belong to somewhere. We need to remember that from our brain's perspective, the first thing which we got when we were born was milk, and it might be from our mother or it might be from the bottle, depending on what was happening. But that was the remedy for everything. If when we felt sad, when we were crying because we felt sad, we were given food in terms of milk. When we felt a little bit lonely, then we were held as well, and then there is a close connection to our mother's or father's bodies. So then, or anyone who was looking after us when we were children. So it richly represents that as well. And it's also the fact that it's safety, it's security, it's everything. So our brains are connected to feel some or particular foods this way. So especially with the food which is sweet and fatty, exactly the same as the milk was, that's almost the automatic response when we feel sad or when we feel disappointed, because that will be sadness as well. And it can, or when we feel hurt, and it can be physically or it can be emotionally. That's one of those scenes when in American movies, and I keep talking about this because it's such a big thing. When a girl or a woman breaks up with her partner, what happens? The girlfriends come over with tubs of ice cream. Why? Because it's the sweet and fatty taste, and this is something what makes us feel better. Because when we taste it, it's not like our brain feels safety, feels connection, and feels love. It's almost like our brain tastes love, connection, and safety. So it's all great when it comes to emotional eating, because just to ask what it is. We've got the whole scale of emotional eating, and emotional eating is part of our life. We all do it. We all want to celebrate with food sometimes. We all want to just feel good because we nourish our bodies as well. But what's really important when it comes to the distinction when we can actually focus on doing something about emotional eating or emotional overeating is that moment when we start feeling shame and guilt. Because there is a big distinction between the day when you don't feel very like you had a challenging day at work, let's say, and you are coming back home and you think like, okay, I'm going to order a pizza, and Simona, we love pizza. There is nothing against pizza, but it's like a standard that, okay, I'm going to order pizza and I'm going to have some ice cream and maybe a glass of wine or whatever it is. If we do it, and then we are absolutely conscious, we made that decision, and it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. From tomorrow or tomorrow morning, I'm just going back to eat what I would normally eat. That's absolutely fine. But if we have exactly the same scenario and we decide to go for exactly the same choices, but we feel like, oh my goodness, why did I do it? I shouldn't be doing this. And when we eat it, we already feel guilt and shame about that. That's the moment when it's worth looking at. And this is something what is a really, really fascinating part, because the searches shows or the research show that when we have unhealthy relationship with food, which means that, yeah, we might use it to sabotage ourselves, which basically sabotaging is punishing ourselves for whatever it is, but we will just use food to do it. If we keep thinking about exercise all the time, if we keep thinking about our body, or we keep just making negative comments, and our inner critic is not only having a full-time job, but probably 3 full-time jobs in our head all the time, this is the time, this is the case where our internal capacity is taken by those thoughts for up to 85%, or to say different words, up to 85% of our internal capacity is taken by those thoughts. When someone has a healthy relationship with food, so basically they eat when they want to eat, they go to the gym, or they do workouts whenever they want to do them or need to do them, and they just don't think too much about what they are going to eat or what they look like. In their heads is only up to 20% of internal capacity spent on those foods. The other 20% is work, the other 15% is family, the other 5% is hobby, the other 5% is this. You can just put your own numbers. But it's absolutely natural. If you think like, or if you feel like you think about food pretty much all the time and you can't focus because you just keep having those thoughts in your head, this is a natural part which happens to everyone who's got unhealthy relationship with food. And that's why I love this work, because it's not about fixing anything. None of us is broken. Everything what has been happening with emotional eating, it's been the cover to whatever the problem is underneath. Because I keep saying that emotional eating is not a problem. Emotional eating is a solution. The problem is what is happening underneath. What are the emotions which are triggered? And when it comes to the emotions which are normally triggered with food, a lot of different ones. And I will give you the most common examples. And I would love for you, when you remember about this, because it's we eat automatically, so we don't remember about that. But just ask yourself question, okay, why am I eating now? If I know that I'm eating, but I'm not hungry, is it because I'm tired? And this is a great example for anyone who keeps eating in the evening. You might not have time to eat during the day, but in the evening, it's like everything is yours. It's like having a party with food. Is it your body telling you that you are just tired and maybe you need a little bit of break, or you need to go to bed a little bit earlier? Because what our mind keeps thinking about is, okay, I'm tired, I need some kilojoules, I need some energy, let me eat something, and then I will feel a little bit more alive. And then it works for a little bit, but then we are tired again. And this is a little bit of a vicious circle. And I was a great victim of that, because I was doing this for years and years. The other one, very popular, is boredom. When we are bored, we just eat, because this is just natural. It's literally just moving something. So the best thing when it comes to boredom is just do a little bit of mindfulness in terms of when you watch something, why do you eat, or why do you snack on something? Can you do it without snacking? Because sometimes it's a habit. especially if you find yourself eating something when you watch TV, or you find yourself craving dessert after lunch or after dinner, or if you find yourself having that craving for coffee and something really sweet around 3 or 4 o'clock, just ask yourself if some of those behaviors were not the ones which you learned in your family home, because it might be something what you've been doing for generations, and your parents were always doing this, your family was always doing this, and when you do it subconsciously, you feel connected to those times. And this is how our subconscious mind works. Conscious mind is the one where we've got all the feelings. Conscious one is the one when we've got all the thoughts. And guess which one is driving our body's behavior? Subconscious one. Exactly. So I could be talking for ages and ages, but please just let me know. Do you have any questions, or do you have any comments to make? There is a comment, or Sharmina has and her hand up, and there is a comment from you as well, which I will read for everyone who's watching the recording. Thank you for the tips to break the pattern habit by changing the state of body nervous system. Yes, amazing. Yes, Sharmina.
A few moments ago, when you were talking about eating, say, late at night, and you were saying that you feel hungry or thirsty, whatever, or sometimes it's because of boredom, and then you go and get something from the kitchen, and like just sort of catch yourself thinking like, well, why am I doing that? I find that I ask myself that after I've eaten or after I've had that sweet thing, like how do I break that circuit, that routine between the feeling of getting something to eat and then actually eating it? How do I stop that?
So it's a great question. It's the very similar process to what I was talking about when it comes to you sitting at your desk and then you find yourself in a cupboard. So it's literally
Catching
finding
the
something.
thought, but that's what I mean. Like, how do you catch the thought between the thought and then eating something? Like, where does that bit come in?
Okay, because it's what I meant is literally just if you have something what you can notice that, for example, in the evening you are watching something and then all of a sudden you go somewhere to the cupboard or somewhere, what needs to happen here is literally interrupt that the journey from your sofa to your cupboard. If you do something here, so you won't be able to do it every time, but literally you can just put yourself, like I've got some like notes here and everywhere else. If you put a note, sooner or later, you will start noticing that. So if you know that you sit on a sofa, you watch something, and then you go to the cupboard, on that cupboard, put a note with a question. It's like, do you really want to eat it? Or anything, and it will interrupt the pattern, the train of thoughts in your head. To give you the great example regarding that is when I wanted to get more conscious, to be more mindful around things like that, which you just said, to stop the patterns, I promised myself that I will only be eating when I'm sitting at the table. And which means that, okay, I realized that when I was eating on the sofa, I was focusing on what was in front of me on telly or whatever I was doing. So my body wasn't recognizing how much food is coming in. So I said to myself, okay, from now on, I'm only going for like a month. I'm only going to eat when I'm sitting at the table. And I put a note saying, I sit at the table when I eat, and I put it on a table. I put it on a wall. I think it took me around 4 days to realize that I was sitting on a sofa, because this is how big that habit is, and how embodied this habit is in our brain and in our body. So when you start putting those notes, trust me that it will probably take a few times, but you will start noticing that. And putting a note, especially if you know where you keep that food you're going for, just keep it in one place and put a note on a door, or put any kind of note, or maybe on a box, because that will stop the train of thoughts. to answer your question. Amazing. All right, you said thank you, so I believe that.
Thank
yes.
you.
Fantastic, thank you. I couldn't hear you, but I could see your mouth moving. Navita, let's go with you. So great to see you here.
Yeah, hi Anna, hi ladies.
Hello.
Ah, good to be back and just hearing this all again. I mean, I've done the 3-month course with you last year, and some things have been easy to maintain, and some things have been really difficult. And you're right, it's all about lifestyle, because I found that when I'm really, really busy, I don't eat properly. And then I get home and that's when I'm really hungry. But having practiced it up to about Christmas, I realized that if I eat too much now, I start to feel sick. And that's because I had to go back and stop eating late at night. So now if I eat late, it makes me feel really ill. So that's a bit of a jolt for me to say, don't do it, which is really, really handy. But the things that I fall back out on is my cakes, because I make cakes. And I've been trying to cut the sugar, but occasionally I find myself just falling back into that realm. And I know this was about learning to eat what you want to eat and then making up for it the next day. So if I ate something wrong today, then tomorrow I'll eat something different, like a salad, etc. So that, and what I've found is that my weight has been the same because I'm making the adjustments. So it hasn't gone up, it hasn't gone down, it's just been staying the same. But I'm at the point now where I think, no, I need to shift some more down. So I'm going to have to look at the calorie deficit and just try and have less of the things that I know that's more fattening, like the sugary stuff, and more of the stuff that that are good for me. But the one good thing that I've been able to do is to cut back on my salt intake, which for me was what was causing a lot of water retention. So without having to take the water tablets as my doctor had prescribed for me, drinking more water and using less salt. And I think that's been helping me to maintain the weight in that way. But every time I've got on the scale, I'm like, okay, it's still the same. But I just want to take it to that other level.
Okay, fantastic. And I remember that salt thing was one of your big challenges, and it was so beautiful because you managed to find the ways to actually incorporate it. And when it comes to what you've been doing, it's because you are on the program. I already left you a message actually today because I was thinking about you when I saw that you are coming. We'll have a conversation because as the person who already finished the program, I will have something super cool for you to make that shift to another level, because it's, as you said, what Navita does, and she mentioned that you bake cakes. That's one of your really, really regular activities. So this is almost like the temptation and being somewhere in the middle. And what you said is brilliant, because it's like, okay, you can have whatever you want, but you just need to keep the balance. And yes, definitely, we will have a call and we will find a solution to get there. So thank you for sharing your experience as well, because this is really, really beautiful. And all right, let's just go a little bit over. Heather, please.
No, yeah, I'll ask two questions very, very quickly. So, we were talking about the cycle and interrupting the process when you're going to go, repeat that habit. What do you think of these habit challenges, these, build healthy habit challenges? They're always 8 weeks long. People get involved in, resolving their bad habits just by breaking patterns, promising each other in a group to do things a different way. Do you think that has the same effect? Because it's almost like they're just trying to change a habit by repeating something different. Do you think that has the same, long-term psychological effect?
I would say it depends, because what we do in my work and what we do with Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind is we work on three aspects. Aspect number one is and I will always explain it like that. So it's thoughts and feelings, which is your mindset, conscious and subconscious mind. You've got actions and you've got results. You can change your actions and you will get particular results. And you can change your actions for 8 weeks and then you will be getting particular results. But if you don't change your thoughts and feelings about that activity, if you don't disconnect that emotional chart of emotions from eating, sooner or later you will bounce back.
That's what I thought as well. So I wanted to ask, and also when people say, you know, so on a slightly different topic, when we are in our happy place, we're in flow, and they say, oh, you'll just forget about your body's needs when you're in flow because you'll just work and be happy. I'm not sure I agree. Like, I think we should be consistent with ourselves. I think if you're happy in your job and you work and start at 8 in the morning and then end at 5 in the evening, having had no appetite, I'm not sure I agree that that's a healthy state. I think we should be conscious of ourselves all the time.
It's the thing is that here it depends how we look at it. Because from my experience and something what I really encourage my clients to do as well is, okay, you might not be hungry, but your body needs nutrition. It's not about forcing ourselves, but it's about nourishing our bodies. And the other thing is that there is a difference between, okay, we might be happy, but we might be sabotaging at the same time. Because someone might be, oh, really happy, I've been really busy and I've got amazing work and it's so cool, and I didn't eat because I didn't feel like. There might be a sabotaging pattern underneath, which will be, okay, if we don't eat enough, we will 100% binge in the evening. And that's one of the biggest, and this is for everyone, that's one of the biggest, the most obvious, but people don't believe in that. That if you don't eat enough nutrition on a daily basis, you will be binging, because that's just a natural thing. So it also goes to the state of our nervous system, because if we are in fight or flight, then our body doesn't know how to digest, doesn't know how to absorb the energy from food as well. So if we are constantly in fight or flight, the thing is that we might be getting bigger, because if the body is fighting, it needs to fight, so it needs more fat tissue to get ready for that fight. Or if we are flying, then we keep running away. We might be eating and we won't have any weight. We would need to put some healthy weight on. But when we are relaxed, then that state is also called rest and digest. That would be the reason, and a lot of people I've been working with, they experienced that they went for holiday for the first time, like Radhika was saying. She really enjoyed she's got really incredible relationship with her body now, and it's when you are in peace with your body, then the body is in a rest and digest state, and then you might feel like, oh, okay, I don't need to eat, but you will still eat because you want to look after your body. So yes, that's actually a great question and great observation. So thank you so much. All right, brilliant. So we are a little bit over time. Simona just said here, thank you so much for tonight's session. It's been so interesting to understand the mechanism behind emotional eating. You're such a pro. Also lovely to meet everyone. I need to leave to cook supper, but I will eat it consciously, and that's the most important thing. And if I feel like having biscuits while watching TV, I will go around the room 3 times before reaching out to the fridge. I will let you know. Much love, Bella. Grazie. So yes, I will check with Simona and we'll see how it went. For everyone who's here, I just wanted to let you know that the Feed Your Body, Not Your Mind, which you can see here, this is the online coaching program which I run every month now. It's 12 weeks of Zoom coaching calls. We see each other once a week. The sessions are for 1 hour. The sessions are recorded. You've got access to those sessions throughout the whole 12 weeks of the program. And the next program will be starting on the 18th of March. So I will be in touch with every single one of you. So then we can talk a little bit more about the program. And I hope that if there is anything I can help you with, and if there is anything I can support you with when it comes to your journey of healing your relationship with food, we will definitely be in touch. And when this video is live, I will send you a link to the recording, and in the description of the video you will also have all the links to go to my social media, to book a call with me if you want to have a free discovery call as well. And I'm sure that I will see all of you again. So thank you so much for today, and I will be in touch with you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.